Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Form Controls tutorial video series. Today we're going to look at one control, and that's what we call the select input control. And I'm sure you've all seen this type of control on web pages. In fact, let me just show you the control right here. Have you ever seen one of these, right? One of these things on a web page? Well, we're gonna take a look today to see what it is and how it works. One thing I want to point out from the very beginning is that the examples that I've been showing you don't show the necessary accessibility coding that should be present in your form controls. If you look at the simple form examples page on the bottom of the class web page that's located on Canvas, if you click on Home, there'll be a link there to the CTEC 122 web page, and you can see that page for additional details. Now, the select input control, right? This select input control here, is used when you have a lot of things, right? When you have a long list of things, maybe 5 or more, right? If you have less than 5, you may want to consider using a set of radio buttons, right? Where you only want the person to select one thing. But again, for longer lists, consider using the select input control, okay? Let's take a look at the markup, right? Because there's a lot of things, right, that make up this particular control. So if I look at the markup here, I scroll down, notice how nice and neat my HTML is, okay? How it's all indented and nested nicely. It helps me debug a lot of my code, actually. So let's take a look. Okay, we're in our form, and I think you know what a form is by now because you've watched video tutorial 1. And inside of actually one of the field sets that we have in here, and I'll let you learn about that on your own. There's something called select, right? See this tag right here, this line. Select name equals age group 2. Now this entire select, right, this entire drop down combo box or whatever you want to call it, right, has a bunch of inner tags that actually define what the options available to the user are. But just know that the web server is going to recognize this whole thing here, any value that a user selects, as right age group 2. It's going to know what value to get from age group 2 when the user submits it. And let's take a look at that. Now, each option that you give to the user has, right, there's an option tag and an option closing tag. And by the way, if you look down over here, there's a close select tag, okay? Now over here we have option, and then we have a value and an attribute, right? These things, right, this value here and the actual word right here in the quote, right, the attribute value is the value that is going to be sent back to the web server. Okay, so if I select under 20, it's going to send back this value right here, right? If I send back, if I select 50-59, it's going to send back 5059. And a web coder who's going to care about that data on the back end, right? The back end meaning the server, the web server, is going to know how to decipher that particular information, okay? So we have the select, and then within the select we have one or more options. And you're not going to offer somebody, one option in a select, okay? That's not good user experience. Notice the first option. Do you notice anything special about it? Look, it says select an age group. Select an age group. So we're screaming out to the user, hey, here's something that you need to select, right? And when you click on it, it's going to show you the additional values. And web coders like who learn JavaScript and such will learn if you're expecting to see a value from the user and they enter or they select an age group and they don't select one of these, you can stop them in their tracks and say that field is required. Please select an age group. I just wanted to throw that in there. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to, what do I want to show you now? I want to show you what that looks like one more time so you can get that in your head. Okay, there's the drop down. This is one way to display a drop down. This is one way to display a drop down. And when I click submit here, see it says 90 and above, and if I click submit, we'll see here that the field name, as I said before, age group 2, is sent to the server, and the value over 90 is also sent. So if I go back here and I look at my code, you can see here over 90. Actually, it says over 89. Did I read it wrong? Let's go back. I make mistakes too. Let's see. 90 and above. Click submit. Over 89. Over 89. So is that what I expected to submit? Yes, it is. Over 89. Correct. Woof. Okay. Just needed to check there. Now, the other thing that you can do, and this is the last thing I'm going to show you, is that you can actually change the number of things that get displayed. Again, whoops, I'm going to go back. I'm going to select here. Now you can see I clicked on the list and it displayed. But what happens if you want to show more than one option at a time? We're going to add an attribute called size to the select tag, and I'm going to enter 5. I'm going to enter 5, and now if I preview this page, look at that. You have a scroll box now with all of those options. Okay, different user experience. It all depends upon what kind of action or emotion or something that you're trying to get the user to do. So you may want to display not only this control, but any of the controls in a way that's conducive to getting them to fill out the information that you want and making it easy for them. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you for part 3 soon.